If you're looking for a smooth, velvety dessert and you love the taste of coffee, you won't want to miss this. But there's a simple trick that takes homemade tiramisu from good to absolutely unforgettable. Stick around to find out. Hey there, Sarah here, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making the most delicious Italian dessert called tiramisu. It's made with espresso, mascarpone cheese, and ladyfingers, and just a little bit of sugar and heavy cream. And it's so easy and your family's going to love it. You have the option to make one large casserole dish, or if you're like me, we're going to do two smaller 5x7s because I like to vacuum seal them and freeze them for later. Here's what you're going to need. A half a cup of cooled espresso. I like to add a little bit of brandy. You could also use a different type of liqueur like Grand Marnier or cognac. 2 packages of ladyfingers, 4 large egg yolks, 2 8-ounce containers of mascarpone, or 1 large 16-ounce jar. Keep it cold. I like to use vanilla bean paste, but that's optional. 1 cup of unpacked powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. This goes on top for later. And about a cup of heavy whipped cream. So we're going to start by brewing our coffee first, and I'm using this Italian mocha pot. You can also use an espresso or whatever espresso machine you have. I highly recommend that you do use espresso, but you could use coffee as well, and it will still be good. It just won't be as strong of a coffee flavor. So I just grabbed all the things I need to do my coffee, and I'm just going to open the bottom of my coffee maker. And there's the little coffee holder and a water pot. So I'm just going to fill the water to the little spout, and that'll make about 2 cups of espresso. And then I'm going to put the coffee in here, and I'm using this Il Classico. It's really good, popular Italian. You can also use Lavazzo, is also a really good brand. These two are really yummy, but use whatever you like. This is $10 at Whole Foods, which is a pretty good price for this brand. So I'm going to do about 2.5 scoops. To make it really strong. Then I'm just going to replace the lid, and that's how easy it is. And this just goes on the stove, medium-high heat, about 10 minutes. So while we wait for the kettle to boil, we're going to go over to the KitchenAid and start mixing up all the other ingredients for the filling. In your KitchenAid mixer, you're going to start by beating 4 egg yolks with a cup of powdered sugar on about medium speed until it gets completely combined, so about 3 to 4 minutes. So this right here is the key trick. Make sure that these eggs and the sugar are completely combined into a nice creamy texture before you add the mascarpone, because that way you get a nice, beautiful, light, fluffy texture. Next up, you're going to add the cheese. Add the mascarpone and mix it until smooth and creamy, about another minute or 2. I also like to add in about a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. That gives it a nice, sweet, rich flavor. You don't have to do this, but this is just something that I like to do. Some people also like to add other flavors here, but we're just sticking to the basics. My coffee just finished. You can see it's boiled over, so I'm going to take it and pour it into a bowl with a little bit of brandy. And I'm going to let it continue to cool down until it's no longer hot. I'm going to be dipping my ladyfinger cookies in this, so I don't want to burn my fingers. The next step is to build your cakes. So now we've got everything ready. We're just going to start by dunking our ladyfingers into the coffee, and we're going to layer them in the bottom of the pan. You don't want to soak them too much because then they get super duper soggy and you're already going to put more moisture on them. So just a quick little dunk. And if you're doing little cakes like me, these little pans each get 1 of the boxes of cookies. Keep going until you fill the whole bottom layer. It should be one pack worth. So now that I've done the first layer, I'm going to add in some of our whipped topping. And I'm just going to layer it over. Do a little bit, about half of what I have here. Remember to save enough to go on another layer. If you want, you can do this part with a piping bag, but I usually just save that for the top part because this part isn't quite as important as the top. Okay, round one is done. You can see these, they look lovely. We're gonna do the same exact thing and do another layer of cookies on top. And then I like to top mine with a little bit of heavy whipped cream before adding the cocoa powder for the finishing touch. Now that I've completed both cakes, I'm gonna take some heavy cream and whip it in my mixing bowl with a little bit of powdered sugar. And I'm just reusing the same mixing bowl because it's going on top of the same ingredients. If you're not doing something like that, you need to wash it and use a fresh one. Let this whip for about 2 to 3 minutes until you like the final texture. When you're finished, you should end up like this with 2 cakes. So that completes my recipe. I hope you enjoyed it and I thank you all for being here. Oh, and let me know in the comments, what's your favorite variation on tiramisu? From my kitchen to yours, I hope you all have a good day.